Almost ready to go here. Last match of the group stage here in Oceania. The final decider, KNG Esports taking on DXA. We are ready for the draft phase. And of course, DXA bringing to the table the classic 6 Black Widow comp.
Oh, the vibes are immaculate up there over in the DXA house, and they're going to need a lot more than vibes if they want to be able to get through here. The playoff picture is almost complete, but one last piece of the puzzle has been yet to be put in place. That's a lot of P's there. I didn't mean to alliterate quite so much, but here we are. We're going to see Gambit bans coming out for both sides, and a one-sided Elsa secured right out the gate for DXA. So, you know, you know what? It might be a bit of a premonition. I think this team likes to play hit scan. Just call it a hunch. They got the best hit scan in the business on their side.
I can't imagine how you came to that conclusion, but yeah, the Elsa one side, definitely a good shout here for DXA to start things off. Simultaneous bans in, DXA gonna take out the Loki, KNG taking away the Daredevil here, of course, does excel to some degree on Hell's Heaven, as you would expect a Devil to do here, but DXA also gonna take the one-sided Loki into this one, so got some teeth here in this draft phase for this DXA team. You know, they are in the hunt for their first series win here in the group stage, and they're coming hungry here to this last matchup.
The one-sided Elsa and the one-sided Loki is like a DXA really going for broke with this pick and ban phase. It's a bit of an oddball ban phase coming through. They have a strategy, and come hell or high water, they are going to stick to it. This last ban, I think, is going to paint the picture for them, and it's going to be a ban onto the Phoenix. So that's what it's going to have to be. I mean, a one-sided Mantis for KNG does open up a lot of triple strategist opportunities for them. You're going to see right out the gate that Cloaky most likely coming out, but oh wait, actually no, the Invis did also get through for DXA, so both sides actually gonna have access to that. So I mean, you don't really need to bust out the Cloak and Dagger at all, but yeah, you know, there's still a pretty solid strategist, a good ultimate, great for space taking. We'll have to see what DXA are cooking over here, because they definitely had intentions when it came to this ban phase.
Yeah, you know, the nice thing about the Cloaky combo is you really just have to focus on the Loki in the draft phase, because when's the last time someone banned out Cloak and Dagger? I cannot remember when I saw them pop up at all. So they are able to secure that one with just one half of the combo in the draft phase, and they might be going for it here, but they've got some options on the table. Of course, they do bring that one-sided Elsa to the side of DXA, so probably going to be seeing a little bit of that from them. The Phoenix ban onto KNG does hurt a little bit. They got some Phoenix plays over there for sure, but almost ready to kick things off here on Hell's Heaven. DXA in the hunt here, trying to get on the board with this series win, and KNG looking for a 2-0 to try and set themselves up for the best tiebreakers they possibly can.
I will point out to your point that some people do actually ban out the Cloak and Dagger, mostly in ranked, and those people are wrong. But one thing that is correct is this Doctor Strange play that I don't think DXA are going to have anticipated, or maybe they have, because they look like they are the Scooby-Doo gang looking for a clue right now, but they're hunting to try and see where that portal is going to be coming from. It's going to be KNG using it to take the high ground, and DXA going to have to look above them as they walk through this choke point, and that is a rough way to approach this point. It does also give Juicy the angle to get those cosmic clusters down range, and there is one straight across the mush of Gact.
Yeah, I love that Strange portal play. Seen it here several times on Hell's Heaven. Gives your strategist some cover here, and that's let them open the gates here. Getting a couple of KOs here. Dusk and Juicy. Isaac picks up 1-2. Already has Banhammer ready to go here for the side of KNG. They'll make that first capture off of a pretty comfortable win right out of the Strange portal. So they just come from the high ground right on down, and that first capture point is theirs.
Yeah, for Dusk and Juicy, it was like shooting fish in a barrel, and then Isaac goes in with the Vanpool, and it's like sticking an immersion blender into that barrel, and DXA are going to have to try and find a new way to approach. Now that high ground is no longer a factor, they're going to take the ball straight to KNG's front door. With a banhammer from Isaac, it's going to have to slow their roll.
Yeah, a little more of a level playing field now. A couple of members of DXA hurt here. Nevin, a little bit of trouble. Tix as well, trying to find a way out on this Invis. Does go for the panic. Invisible boundary, but countered out right away there. Tinny on the Maelstrom of Madness, finding a double KO there on the Strange, and KNG gonna capitalize there, putting the hurt on DXA in the face of that panic ult here. Full ace onto them, and a little bit of a stagger on the Wolverine as well. Disaster here early on Hell's Heaven.
But for Tinny, talk about giving your life for the cause. Does so much, denies the invisible boundary, and then still finds more at the back end of it. Rest easy, soldier. We have the watch for now, or at the very least until you come back into the front lines, where you will be needed once again, as DXA making some swaps over onto the Hulk. Gax coming up on an Eye of Agamotto. There is a way forward here, and another Maelstrom saying anything you can do, I can do better.
Yeah, Gak back with a vengeance here. And there comes the Apex Predator from Bars now. Juicy's got a Karmic Revival ready to go here. Eye of Agamotto from Gak does find a couple members of KNG, and they are in a bit of trouble here, but they're going to get right back up and back into the battle. Sector going to take advantage of that Karmic Revival. Now, Tenny's got the Eye, but shut down there. Stunned in place by that Hulk there. Nev finding a solid exile. Great target prio for DXA here, but all the while, KNG still in control of the capture point here. 90% and on the warpath. Revsy goes up for the Galactic Legend, but shut down by Pars, the Monster Piercer, piercing Peter Quill here and sending him all the way back to spawn. Playlist shut down for now here as we go into overtime.
Hulk Smash now coming out as well. There is an opportunity to find a flip here. You just need to find a little bit more. That Eye of Agamotto from Tenny that was denied at 50% should be coming on deck here again very shortly, and that hopes to be the punctuation mark for this one. Another good exile coming out, and Pars again taking down Revsy before this Star-Lord can rejoin the fray here. So KNG gonna be on the back foot, still playing down a man, but trying to secure this point. A nice uppercut there, and Pars just has a shooting gallery. Tenny gonna be the last to fall there, and DXA off of another double from Pars. Maybe a triple. No, we're playing with our food. All right, we're not going to squash the Mantis just yet. Everybody gets a piece of that pie. That's going to be DXA getting on the board, 12% and counting.
And solid stagger here gives them a little bit of an opportunity to try and dismantle that cushion. The pillow fort here that KNG built for themselves stopped at 99%. So DXA, they do have control, but it is going to be final fight territory. They are fighting under the entire time here. They hold several chips here as KNG rounding the corner and ready for a fight. Apex Predator comes out from Pars, and again DXA in the KO feed here. Gak finding one on the Maelstrom of Madness, and the Invis getting in there as well. Oh my goodness. DXA battling back here pretty strong.
The KNG know better than to stick around after that. They cut their losses. You have Isaac going over the map there, joining his brethren, and now DXA holding on to a wealth of ultimates here that KNG are going to have to try and take their time to crack. It might take one or two fights, but with a Soul Resurgence, they should be able to take those fights quite quickly. Juicy coming up onto a Karmic Revival, but the question is, are you going to be able to get that res off when you don't have map control?
Yeah, and already body advantage for DXA. Nev finds a quick pick here. Gacked again on that Maelstrom of Madness. Takes down Sector. One strategist offline for KNG. There is the Karmic Revival from Juicy, though. So team getting back up and into the fight again. Final fight territory for KNG, but they have not found a way back onto this capture point yet. DXA holding it down strong here. Rexy's got an Eternal Bond as well, and there's the Banhammer from Isaac trying to find a way through the door here, but Pars gonna slam it shut on them. Another Monster Piercer. Big Eye of Agamotto coming out now as well. Stunned there, frozen in place as trying to battle it out here and quickly approaching a double 99 overtime, and DXA might have it here. 3 KOs come through yet again, 95%, and still on the charge here. KNG gonna have to try and rally back to the point.
Might gonna be opportunity for a strange TP here. The World Breaker Hulk from Nev has turned KNG's world upside down, and there's not gonna be a touch. The portal doesn't come out. And DXA, a shot across the bow. They take Frozen Airfield, and oh, that 2-0 from KNG. They're going to have to run it back on Hell's Heaven if they want to keep that hope alive.
Yeah, a reverse 0 to 100 there for DXA. They play it out in that double 99 overtime, but once they got control of the point, they just never looked back there. Nev on the Hulk, insane exiles there, really kept that momentum going for DXA, and of course Pars, big hero on the Elsa, and already got that Apex Predator ready to go yet again here. So KNG gonna have to find a way back into this one.
Some of those dashes into the Monster Piercer shots from Pars are just disgusting, like gross. I don't know if you can show that on Twitch TV, but here we are, and now we've got that Glartrox coming into this next fight. It's going to be that versus the Galactic Legend from Revsy, and I do think that Pars, for better or for worse, has had Revsy's number here, so Revsy's going to have to take really high to the skies, you know, maximize the shotgun spread that comes out from that double shotgun and the Monster Piercer shot from Pars, because if he gets close again, I don't know that you're going to see KNG getting the better of this first fight.
No, I don't think so either. It is definitely going to have to consider where they let that Galactic Legend fly here. Dusk, of course, on the Mantis, so they got some damage boost potential there as well. Going to try to capitalize on that one here, but DXA commanding comeback there on point number 1, and now KNG left scratching their heads just a little bit here as they're going to look for a way in. DXA take the high ground over there. Revsy going to try to do much of the same and shoot across here. A little bit of a cross angle onto DXA. They'll drop down, and it is going to be a brawl here for the capture point. Revsy going overhead, though. Satellite on that Galactic Legend here, trying to break through, but cannot find a way through. Bars got that Apex Predator moving as well here, and will take down Isaac, the Sorcerer Supreme, shut down early on here. Nev going back down to banner form here, and Gact gonna have an Eye of Agamotto ready to go. They don't have a lot of follow-up here, but they're gonna let it fly. 3 stuns off of that one, and they will convert here. KNG gonna fight back. They do find 1 KO in the midst of it, but 2 for 1, valuing DXA, excuse me, and Tashi will find one, a double KO there on the Wolverine, cutting Tinny down to ribbons. Gact in the KO feed as well, and DXA take the first cap this time.
And the fight opened in perfect fashion from DXA. They played it so well. The Galactic Legend came out from Revsy, and we knew that was going to be the opening salvo from KNG, and DXA knew it too. They didn't try to fight into it. They corralled themselves underneath where there was cover, and then used the Glartrox just to take anyone back that tried to take the fight to them in that cover. A great use. It's not the flashiest Glartrox we've ever seen, but it's a good utility ultimate that comes out from Pars, and DXA, off the back of that and the fight breaking down from there, gets the first capture, and they get to hold on to the Eternal Bond for the next one. So even if this Eye of Agamotto strikes gold for Isaac, they still have a way to battle back.
Yeah, Apex Predator so valuable in a wealth of situations here. DXA's point yet again. Tashi in a little bit of trouble on the Wolverine there, and KNG gonna try to capitalize here. Juicy gonna get up off of the cocoon though. Shot down pretty early here. Now Sector gonna battle back, finds Gact here as they are gonna look to fight their way onto this capture point here though. Rexy has the Eternal Bond here for DXA. A little bit of an umbrella for both sides as Sector throws down Invisible Boundary. Last stand for Tashi, and there's Isaac on some airmail for the Eye of Agamotto, but a whiff here. No stuns coming through, and yet again release that Glartrox one more time for Pars here. Doesn't look like it makes its mark, and KNG coming out a bit ahead here. Tinny will find one onto Pars. Invisible Boundary unfortunately stuck back in DXA's spawn here as Revsy diving on in on the Star-Lord, clearing the way here, and KNG retake. They stop DXA just short of 75%.
Yeah, when Isaac drops that Eye of Agamotto, DXA all scatter and take the fight in so many different ways that KNG, they can just kind of pick them off one by one, but that does do a good job of buying more time. So 73% for DXA. They're nearing that one fight territory, and KNG, to their credit, they're able to get that cleanup without overspending, so they're going to have the Karmic Revival. They can hide Juicy to buy themselves more time. They're going to have the Soul Resurgence, and with those 2 tools alone, they should have what it takes to match DXA's progress if they play this right.
Yeah, and that is going to be the key here. Got to play it out the best you possibly can. 30% now for KNG as DXA trying to find a way in here, but Isaac going to shut the door again here. Tashi shut down by that Maelstrom of Madness here. The rest of DXA a little bit of a scramble here as Tinny coming up on him as well on the Captain America, getting right into the mix there, throwing punches left and right and throwing that Vibranium shield here, trying to cut a path through DXA and give them some more time to close the gap here.
Fastball coming out from Tashi. Gonna pop a U-turn, get right back with the team there. 51% for KNG and a wealth of ultimates. Who is going to be the one to strike first? Fix with the Invisible Boundary, trying to catch Isaac inside of it. Eye of Agamotto going in deep for Gact, but no casualties just yet. There we go. Finally Dusk off the Maelstrom, but Revsy is taken to the skies with that Galactic Legend saying happy holidays, but no gifts coming off of that one. It's just Tashi with another KO, and there's Juicy finally popping the Karmic Revival, but Karma tends to bite back in the form of Nev.
Yeah, it is Eternal Bond versus Karmic Revival here, and so far DXA looking to wrest control away. KNG on 80% now, and Pars on the move yet again on the Elsa. There's one onto Isaac here, making a double KO for Dusk, and didn't even need the Apex Predator to make it happen here. In the hunt now for Revsy, making a triple here. Tinny the only one left standing, and he will suffer the same fate as the rest of KNG and DXA. Flip it back their way. 75%, maybe not quite final fight territory, but definitely closing in.
But like I said, KNG were able to surpass the progress, get all the way up to 94% off of the Soul Resurgence and the Karmic Revival. They did throw in that Galactic Legend as well in order to do it, but they're going to come into this next fight with an Eye of Agamotto and a little bit of breathing room before DXA. But the Glartrox coming out, it's caught onto 2, and I don't know if the Elans are going to come through. The Heroics coming through. Tinny with that Freedom Charge is going to be just enough to keep KNG in the fight despite DXA in control.
Yeah, holding on for dear life here. They will make the flip. Maybe a bit of an opportunity for DXA, but I don't think they can get here in time. Nobody there, and half the team cut off as they send Nev back to spawn as well. KNG will close it out, but definitely sweating a little bit there on point 2.
Yeah, that was very touch and go. 99 to 99, and You want to see a more commanding lead from a team like KNG going up against the bottom seed right now in the group stage. DXA, they came to fight, they came to play, and they've taken us to a third sub-map here on Hell's Heaven, Super Soldier Factory, and to their credit, again, they're able to hold on to that invisible boundary, a tool that KNG Esports do not have to their name. In fact, they have no ults to their name for this first fight. They're going to have to do a little bit of work. They're not too far off, but with that invisible boundary alone, you can realistically absorb any punishment that KNG want to throw your way. I gotta say that DXA, if they play it right, should be able to get the first fight win here for KNG. It's going to be what comes after that.
Yeah, a little bit of a leg up for them, at least on the first one coming into this matchup here. Of course, Revzy's going to have a Galactic Legend, so you're going to be seeing that invisible boundary coming up pretty, sooner rather than later. But it is an all-out brawl here. Point number 3 on the line for both of these teams. Isaac going to look for a Strange portal play. Gact is on Strange as well, but I don't know if it's on cooldown. Yeah, they are looking for it. Now they know. Dueling Strange portals. Here we go. A little bit of a surprise attack here. Sector picks up one right away on the Indus here, takes down Gact, and they will move on with their day. A bit of an aggressive opening from KNG, but maybe not what DXA were expecting here.
It doesn't get more aggressive than that. Yeah, I think DXA were expecting both teams to try and play for the high ground, but was definitely not expecting the portal to be dropped right on top of his head, and was still channeling the portal when Sector had his way with him. But DXA now going to come in here and take this fight. Early invisible boundary, and it's going to be mirrored, and suddenly it's going to be KNG in the driver's seat with this fight.
Yeah, a little bit of a Venn diagram, though it does go down for one team here. Galactic Legend overhead. That is Revzy on the hunt here. Yet again on the Star-Lord, battling it out for this point here. KNG so close to making the cap here, but Gact on the Eye of Agamotto doesn't make its mark, but plenty of zoning pressure there, trying to just clear the way there. Tashi on the Wolverine. Big last stand coming in there, trying to slice through Juicy before the Karmic Revival goes off, but can't get it done in time. KNG back up and running here. They have been a little bit of trouble on the Hulk, but healed right back up and ready to keep the brawl going here. They do survive, but neither side able to take this capture point yet.
You can see Tashi in real time panicking, realizing that last stand hit Paydirt, but missed the crucial target. But Pars has not been missing his targets, taking down Tinny, taking down Isaac as well. And DXA gonna find the first cap here, start building that percentage, and no Karmic Revival this time, no second chances this time. DXA will definitively get that first fight win. And again, it was a little touch and go. When Fix tried to go for that early invisible boundary and it was mirrored, KNG probably should have won that fight.
Yeah, I'm surprised that they didn't either. And yeah, touch and go definitely describes what has been going on since frame 1 here of Hell's Heaven. It has been a back and forth between these two teams, and obviously it is clear this is not going to be an easy series for either team. KNG now on the high ground here, both of them even in ults. Asleep on the Gact for a second there, but not going to make too much of an impact here. There's the invisible boundary from Sector here as KNG are going to look to move in, but Tashi moving in as well, slicing through Isaac. Strange sent all the way back here. DXA still in control of the capture point all along here, but KNG, of course, they've got a couple tools at their disposal here. Pars throwing down the Apex Predator as well here. Doesn't look like it picks up too much, though. Freedom Charge from Tinny, so KNG knocking on their door yet again, trying to find a path through, but the only path is right back to the spawn room here. DXA finding 3 KOs and securing this point at least for a little while longer.
And now we are 2/3 of the way home for DXA. They might be able to get the first map win here if KNG don't find something magical here. You're going to have the Galactic Legend, but Rexy is holding on to this Eternal Bond, so you can easily parry that one. Isaac's Eye of Agamotto, I mean, there's a wealth of ways that you can deny that one. We saw it happen with the Exile from Nev early on. One clap could put this all to bed. I mean, and then you have the Eye of Agamotto from Gact, and that might even force out some resource from the side of KNG, so nothing is guaranteed, nothing is for certain here, but as we cross over into one fight territory, the one thing we can say for sure is it is do or die time for KNG.
Yeah, final fight here. DXA ready to close out this map. Gotta find an answer right here and right now. Soul Resurgence coming out from Mantis on KNG's side here. They're gonna try to move in here. Eternal Bond on the point there. As you can see, a little bit of breathing room for DXA now. Pars on the move again on the Elsa. Just a second or two of overtime left. Revzy goes up for the Galactic Legend. Pars is on the hunt though for Peter Quill here. Tried to find a way to close out this map. Will pick up one onto Rexy. So Cloak and Dagger sent back for now. Nev gonna go back down to Bruce Banner here, and back to the spawn as well. There's the invisible boundary now from Fix here, trying to fix this mess that they find themselves in at the very end of this match. Sector throws down the boundary, but shut down by Pars, and Pars goes down at the hands of Isaac, and another maelstrom of madness here. Eye of Agamotto from Gak. Revsy stunned in place there. Star-Lord, big pickup off of that Eye of Agamotto for sure. Isaac stopped dead in their tracks. Nobody on the point from Kenga, and DXA on point 3 will take Hell's Heaven.
The C9 from Kanga, they could have kept that one going. I thought for sure they had that fight won. It was such a scary fight to take. Like, you had Revsy on the point, had to pop the Galactic Legend and fly up to the sky. He can't touch. You have Juicy going for the Karmic Revival off the point. He obviously can't touch, nor can anyone he's trying to bestow the gift of life upon. Someone has to stay touching that whole time and also living while half the team is busy. They're able to clear that hurdle, but then it all starts to break down from there. The invisible boundaries, the eternal bonds, more and more ults start to fly, and Kanga just step off of the point. It took it was so narrow. While Revsy was taken to the skies, that Galactic Legend, I was worried the C9 was going to happen there. The overtime wick burned out so low that there was just no room for error, and one misstep, one step off the point is all it took. But 17 final hits for Pars and 13 for Tashi. I mean, that's how we got in that situation in the first place.
Yeah, I mean, we said right at the beginning of this match, Pars and Tashi, absolute dynamic duo there for the duelists of DXA. And yeah, 17 finals, demon time on this map for Pars, and makes me wonder if we're going to see an adjust and maybe some focus on Elsa in the next draft. But yeah, I mean, definitely an uphill battle for both teams here. Tug of war. They both got some shouts in, but DXA, by the end of it, point number 3, I mean, that was theirs from start to finish. So looks like they complete the circle here, and they take map number 1. You know, I kind of had a feeling maybe we would see a back and forth between these two teams, but I don't think I was expecting DXA to come out of the gate so aggressive and so successful.
I don't know where Matzi is right now, but I know he has got a grin as wide as the sun after seeing his boys DXA, formerly known as Mushy Mush, taking the first map against Kanga. And we said, for the ultimate cushion to ensure that playoff spot, Kanga needed to find a 2-0. They might still be able to get a 2-1, but it's gonna have to be a reverse sweep in order to get that. And I'm no math magician, so I don't even know if that is going to be enough to secure their playoff spot. I do still think they might be safe from here on out, but you definitely cannot give up that second win, because then, oh, we have quite the triad happening in the bottom 3 of this group. We'll have to take some time to crunch the numbers, and we will throw to a quick break, get our bean counters on it, and we will see you on the other side.
The moon haunts you!
Welcome back, rivals, to the last match of the Oceania group stage here in the preseason, and potentially the last map as DXA Esports take a heater of a map one. Hell's Heaven goes to them, and they go over KNG Esports in a brutal back and forth.
And we were due for some shenanigans over here at Oceania. It's been a little bit too normal, too predictable. My Preds were too on point, so I mean, DXA taking a map and now making me sweat, because if they could take another one, that will very much so upset the balance over here in this group, and KNG's playoff hopes may very well go up in smoke. Like we said, they are not safe. They needed a 2-0 in order to unclench. Now it is do or die time. Museum of Contemplation is going to be the arena of their choosing, as so many other teams have chosen, but first time we actually get to see it tonight.
Yeah, and I was going to say, the one map drop here by KNG does put some things into jeopardy in of itself. So even if they complete the reverse sweep here, gonna have to see how the math shakes out for them. You know, we've been saying all night long, you want to win 2-0 in these matches because there's not that many here in the group stage in Oceania. So every single map counts here. Now it's going to be up to KNG to try and bounce back. This is their pick, so headed to their turf here. And it was very close. DXA didn't have too much of a lead over KNG until that third and final point. So KNG squarely in their rearview mirror. Big opportunity for them to bounce back here.
And I think with their map pick and the opportunity to get ahead of the picks and bans, learn a couple of lessons, learn the way that that DXA like to play, you might be able to get ahead here. But again, it's now or never. Like, this is a team that we know has what it takes to play close to the likes of KNG. They looked really good against them despite going down in 2-0 fashion. And a team of that caliber, a team with the name KNG Esports, you expect greatness out of a roster like that, and they have shown they're capable of it, but here they have to deliver. They can't get caught with their pants down by a young, a hungry DXA on the uprise. We're gonna see that back-to-back Gambit ban come out and reaching right back for that Elsa Protect, so you know that KNG are gonna wanna try and mirror up, try and not let Pars get up to his old tricks, at the very least, not let him get up to his old tricks uncontested.
Yeah, I mean, we called out Pars here at the beginning of this match, and so far has delivered dividends for this DXA team. Big stuff from the Elsa, of course. Mantis banned out on both sides of the board here, so no surprise. Like we said earlier on in the night, you know, these first few slots in the draft phase tend to be pretty similar, and here is where you see some deviation. They will take the Wolverine away from DXA here to start things off, and DXA ban out Invis. That does open the door for them to take Loki here as a save if they want to. Never a particularly bad choice to grab the Loki, and lots of opportunities here, of course. Maybe some cloak and dagger Loki action here. KNG back over to them. Their last ban gonna be the Invis as well, so no invisible boundaries for either side in this matchup. And hey, we got Loki on both sides of the board here, and a whole boatload of mischief as we go to Museum of Contemplation.
Yeah, I mean, that has been DXA's MO, you know, going for the same protects, the Elsa and the Loki previously on Hell's Heaven, but KNG gonna eat off of their plate a little bit, go for those same protects, but I think the Wolverine ban is probably going to be the biggest thing. But oh, hello. What is that hover? You say Loki, DXA. Okay, I thought they were gonna go for the Cloaky ban, but no, instead they're gonna go for the group ban as well. So Cloaky is still going to be playable for both sides, and of course, without the Invis there, you know, Cloak and Dagger is gonna be the next best thing, especially if you're one of these teams that doesn't really want to lean too much into the dive. You want to play front to back and just set your Elsa Bloodstone up with a shooting gallery. That's gonna have to be the pathway forward for both KNG and DXA here, as that is the bed they have made for themselves.
Yeah, and, you know, looking at the heavy hitter matchups here, Pars versus Revzy, round 2 here. Elsa's on the board on both sides yet again. It is going to be KNG on the attack first, so they take the map pick, and they will take the offensive side to start things off. DXA going to be the defenders here, but yeah, you know, I like the Groot ban here. I don't think that's a bad choice. I definitely was interested in the spice they were cooking there for a second with that C and D hover, because, yeah, you had the shout right, CB. You know, you see that Loki on the board, and it does kind of justify a potential Cloak and Dagger ban. No such luck here, though. They both have access to the complete Cloaky team up here, so very curious to see how this will play out. DXA gonna try to hold KNG here into this opening spawn hold fiasco that usually unfolds on Museum of Contemplation.
And if they do, that could be the 2-0 for DXA, and what a world that would be. What would the group even look like? We might not have to wait to find out. I know we're not gonna have to wait to see what KNG are bringing to the dance floor here. Tinny on the thing. Without the Groot, I think that's going to be your next best option when it comes to trying to bully these frontliners back, but is currently being checked at the door by Nev on that Groot, the one-sided Groot that DXA played so hard to get with that last ban.
And Kanga's bringing Wolverine to the table here, so Nev definitely gonna have to watch their back here as this gets underway. Kanga able to make a little bit of progress here and at least dig themselves out of that initial spawn door here. Playing safe around Juicy, goes for that feral dive there, as you can see, but doesn't quite find its mark this time, though. Definitely Logan will be back for more.
Fix does have to be careful. You can see the regen domain is still on cooldown for another few seconds. Didn't have it there to save Nev if he needed it, but now this next kidnap should be good. You should be able to save him if you really have to, but can't be taking too much pressure because that is a major resource that you know they are going to be tracking. If Kanga are able to see those lamps come down, they know that is going to light the path. It will literally be the green light.
Yeah, and both sides have that same advantage here. Gotta watch out for those regen domains. Fix is gonna go ahead and let it fly, though. Got a Mischief taking the Eternal Bond here. Not in time to save Nev from Sector, though. Finding one on the C&D to start things off. Just a minute 15 away, and Kanga looking pretty strong here on offense. Revsy gonna grab a double KO on the back of that Apex Predator, making a triple there. Isaac and Dust gonna do some cleanup duty here onto DXA, and now the path forward wide open for them. Sector finishes off the last one. On the Atom shutdown, but Nev gonna have a strange portal here to get him back just in time.
Waiting for a few more respawns to come through before we fully commit to it, but it is on deck, trying to deny this first point capture from coming through, but nobody's touching the cart. The cart's inching forward. Okay. All right, we gotta stop the Batmobile before we get that point A capture, otherwise this portal was all for nothing.
Yeah, they almost just let the gas off and let that bus move itself here. Good save there at the last second. Now battling back, Eternal Bond on the board here. Yet again there, a little bit of chaos, but DXA do regain control of the mission vehicle. They start to create a little bit of a personal space bubble around it here, so looking to try and put the pressure on as half the time for Kanga already off the board here, and Gak, solid shots there on the Magneto. Did not even need the Meteor to make that one happen.
I mean, sometimes you just need the swagger. That's what all these Magneto players seem to have, whether it's with the Meteor Rebs or whether it's just with the Mag Cannons. There's just a certain level of juice that comes along with it, a certain level of sauce, and Gact definitely has it there, and it's enough to stop the card, at least for the time being. Kanga Esports coming up on a wealth of ultimates, an Eternal Bond and a God of Mischief, so they can double dip on this, use one defensively and one to take space. There's going to be that God of Mischief coming out. Dusk is holding on to that. You have to be careful. You don't get the full duration out of the duplicate with Eternal Bond.
Right, and Par is now on the move here. DXA gonna look to shut this thing down. 60 seconds to go, and Gak finding one dunk there. A full court shot almost at the buzzer, potentially here for DXA to try and close this thing out. Yes, Kanga have a lot of ults here, but they gotta make something happen with them. Their time is quickly vanishing, and DXA the whole while have been pushing that Batsmobile back. I mean, they're almost set back to 3/4 of the way to checkpoint 1.
Yeah, a healthy ult bank don't mean anything if you can't cash out. Huge Glortrox coming out from Par is going to take down Revsy, and that's again going to slow things down because that's Kanga's main source of damage. They can't engage without that, and they certainly can't risk losing somebody else trying to, so DXA going to hold on. 30 seconds left and 5 ults on deck for Kanga, but will they be given the chance to use them as DXA so far have slammed the door in their face? And even worse, Tashi holding on to a Karmic Revival. Agamotto coming out to slow things down. They're not even going to be able to get to that Adam.
No, they're going to try to stop him right here around the corner. Gact in trouble and going down here as Kanga going to fight back at the very end here. Fix, though, on the Loki here, makes the copy onto the Karmic Revival, and Tashi's got one ready to go too, so it is going to be knocked down, drag out to the end here. Clobber in time for Tinny to try and make a play here. Rexy throwing down the Eternal Bond as we go into overtime, and DXA are looking for a full hold here. Not a lot of ults remaining on either side of the board, and not a lot of bodies for Kanga. One going down, Juicy onto the Wolverine, sit back and still holding on to a Karmic Revival here. The finish line so tantalizingly close for Kanga here. They just need that 2:30 time refresh, but DXA not giving them any quarter here, not an inch given. Dusk does have the Loki here. The Eternal Bond coming down for Kanga now as they start to make a little bit of progress here. The pendulum swings their way as Pars going back. Nev as well sent all the way back to spawn here, and Kanga, the miracle here ahead of checkpoint 1. They will make it to the time refresh. 2:30 back on the clock.
Oh, but did DXA ever make them work for it? The double Adam res is coming out, and that is a lot to try and burst through. And I thought without Juicy being there, getting taken down, aggressively trying to find a punish on that Adam Warlock, that it just wasn't going to be. But Revsy was there, had the shots on deck where needed, and the Glartrox as well. Good stuff that came out from Kanga, and another Apex Predator about to come online as well. It should be enough to get them around this corner here, but you only have 2 minutes in the time bank, so anything beyond that point A cap is going to be extra for Kanga, and you wanted to get so much further ahead on your map pick. DXA are still going to be feeling themselves after that defense. You gotta slow them down, and there's that Apex Predator. You gotta find the Elim off of that, but where is it?
Yeah, they're just not converting these ultimates into KOs here. They're missing some value. And of course, Kanga, excellent job there playing in the clutch. They do make it through that checkpoint, but DXA, they have shaved off so much of Kanga's time. Now they are playing with what the map will give them at each checkpoint here. Eternal Bond now from Fix off of that Loki ultimate, trying to give DXA another anchor point here somewhere to fight, but Pars can't be saved by it. Shut down, and Isaac going overhead for a Meteor M. On the ground though, Revsy on the move here too. They're finding all the KOs they need now. A little bit revved up here is Kanga Esports. Hit the gas on that Batsmobile because Kanga is back in the fight here. 60 seconds left to go and quickly approaching checkpoint 2.
But they cannot take their foot off of the gas because, like you said, only 60 seconds left. They have the ults to use them, and they can't be denied opportunities anymore. Tinny lurking around the corner, I think looking for a clobber in time, or at the very least looking for a victim, is going to hit it, and Revsy is in there like swimwear with that elephant gun straight to Tashi, delivered straight to the dome, and now we're going to have that God of Mischief coming out for an Eternal Bond from Dust, but Kanga, are they going to be able to keep this one going as DXA are willing to mirror the Strategist ultimates, but Pars gets caught outside of the Eternal Bond, and DXA, one by one, falling like dominoes. Kanga will have point B.
It's just too much momentum here, and Revsy, a major hero for Kanga as they'll find their way to checkpoint number 2, back up to 2 minutes on the clock, and yet again they power through another defensive effort from DXA. Again, they've been shaving time off, and we've seen a lot of fights here at a checkpoint 3 drag out to the very end, so Kanga in a better spot here, but no time to relax.
At the very least, though, the momentum is in their favor. If they can ride that momentum all the way to a full cap, that would be perfect. But they got to keep some bodies on the cart here. This is where it gets so hard to push. Even though it is all downhill, it feels like an uphill battle. You got to keep someone inside the flotation device at all time. Keep your arms and legs inside of it, and do not get out of it. Otherwise, Dr. Strange is going to be pumping the brakes.
Yeah, quite a wild ride here to the end for Kanga, and it is going to get a little bumpy here. Tashi over onto the Phoenix now, finding one early on, but Juicy going to return fire quite literally here. Jean Grey's on both sides of the board here, trading Lokis left and right. DXA upper hand here. They've got the resources to make this happen here. 60 seconds again on the clock, and Kanga have been fighting from underneath that time deficit for so long now. Insong Inferno going up, but no dice here. Juicy's almost got one ready to go, but Pars and Tinny going to trade for their respective teams yet again here. Juicy, Insong Inferno now. They are going to take aim at that Phoenix before it crashes down. Does save them some heartache, but Nev cannot be saved here. Tinny finishing off with a Yancey Street haymaker.
DXA doing a good job of stalling the cart out for the time being, but knowing without their Vanguard lineup, they're going to have to give a little bit of space here, and this is more cart progress for Kanga. 30 seconds left and a wealth of ults coming online. They're going to have both Strategist ultimates, and I mean, so are DXA, so this is going to be a long fight, potentially an overtime push, but the full cap is in their sights, and if they can bait these ultimates out and play around them properly, it could be achievable.
Yeah, feels like anything you can do, I can do too. Eternal Bonds from both sides of the board here. Juicy picking up the first KO in this fight. Time going to tick down, and it's going to go to overtime. Got to be careful here, though. Kanga's got to have somebody on that flotation device, like you said, at all times. Apex Predator here from Pars. They're just going to look to try and clear the point and eat away this overtime. Final battle here. That finish line dead ahead here for Kanga as they're going to look to pull off the miracle map clear here, though. Revsy's got a lot to say about that too, trying to clear the way for the rest of Kanga to finish this one off here. Tashi another one on the Phoenix, and there's the Apex Predator from Revsy now, trying to send this team over the cliff here, and Kanga still in it, still in control of the mission vehicle, though. Tashi gonna look to put some hurt onto Tinny's thing here as they'll find the KO they wanted all along. Now Kanga looking at a bit of a body disadvantage here. Tashi double KO on the Phoenix. Now Revsy going back off of that critical shot here, and DXA take control of the cart for now, though there is a strange portal here from Juicy as well, so it is down to the wire here, neck and neck. Just a few seconds of overtime and a few meters left to go here. DXA in a little bit of trouble, using that Insong Inferno to save themselves there on the side of DXA, keep themselves in the fight, because the only ones that have to plant feet on the payload here are Kanga, as it is an absolute mess here at the very end, as we've seen time and time again. Isaac goes for the dunk, and he'll find it there onto Fix. Insane through the door here with just a second of overtime left. Kanga, miracle clutch play after clutch play here. One more Eternal Bond for the road here. 1 meter to go, 1 second of overtime left. Everything blinking red, everything failing for both teams here. An absolute mess, and an Eye of Agamotto from Juicy goes huge, massive stun, and they will follow up on it. Tashi survives the stun, but no bodies remaining for DXA. 0.61 on the card here, and they will clear it out. Kanga persevering through multiple overtimes.
DXA refusing to give ground, but Kanga refusing to relent. The immovable object met the unstoppable force, and the unstoppable force, at this time, at the very least, somehow, some way, managed to win it out, but that could not have been more bloody. Kanga, I don't know if you can unclench after that one. I don't know if you can breathe a sigh of relief, because that was not guaranteed. You did get the map clear, and you got to feel the weight of the world off your shoulders, because you have set yourself up for a win condition. It's so rare to see full map clears on Museum of Contemplation because of how difficult that last point is to push, and especially when you manage to bleed out so much time in overtime push through point A, and you still get the full clear. Like, that is absolutely insane, and DXA are going to have to climb that exact same mountain if they want to get this 2-0 here. I think Kanga have set themselves up quite nicely, but there still is that matter of sticking the landing, not letting DXA getting away with all that they have managed to get away with thus far on both this map and on Hell's Heaven. Pars has been putting on a clinic on the Elsa. Fix has been lights out when it comes to the timing on these regen domains, and Gact, we've got to talk about the Meteor M's and the Eyes of Agamotto's and all the plays he's been able to make. If you're Kanga, there is a lot on your plate. Have you bitten off more than you can chew? The answer right now, I think, is no, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I mean, truly amazing performance from both sides of the board. Kanga got hung up on both places where you see offense get hung up, right there, right before checkpoint 1, and of course, at the very end. So a lot of back and forth between these teams. I mean, absolute dead heat between the two of them here. Now DXA onto the attack, and some swaps coming through here. Juicy over onto the Punisher now. Nev's got the Captain America ready to go here, but for the most part, DXA gonna try to make this work. Tashi as well on the Daredevil here. They do manage to make their way out of spawn here, and Nev taking the back rooms, trying to find a way to get behind Kanga and take him by surprise here. Doesn't look like he's got a ton done here yet, but at least able to keep the harass up and try to make it that much harder for Kanga to defend here. Tashi gonna do the same here, taking advantage of some flank rounds, but he is shut down. A Punisher shotgun blast to the Daredevil here, and Isaac gonna capitalize as well, taking 1 or 2 on the Magneto, and now Kanga gonna look to try and lock in a chokehold here. 60 seconds away, and Kanga knocking on the spawn room door.
And that's what you need to see from Kanga. Ride that momentum from the full cap into, like you said, the chokehold. Don't let DXA have an inch. Kanga doing a great job. Juicy looked really good on the Punisher against KNG before in their previous outing. This time around is a little bit more on the hunt for this Captain America. You can see Nev going for another flank there, and Juicy was trying to scout that out. Did manage to do so and find another shot on Tashi in that previous fight. More of that, and I think Kanga have a stalwart defense here. Meteor M from Isaac hanging overhead like a sword of Damocles, but not going to find the dunk.
And this first checkpoint so brutal here. Eye of Agamotto from Tinny comes out onto the board here, but they will play right on through it. DXA unfazed by the stun. Sector's got Eternal Bond going, and Juicy got that shotgun lock-in here, taking another one on the Punisher swap here, making a double KO. Nev, the Captain America, blasted back to square one here. Dusk picking up 1 on the Loki as well here. Still a couple of solid offensive pieces for Kanga, but they're winning these fights with left clicks.
2 minutes left, and I mean, if you don't need ultimates and you're just winning with left clicks, like, what more can you do? If you're DXA, you're only just now starting to come up into a decent ult bank. Nev gonna have the freedom charge and let the devil out for Tashi, but Kanga have more than enough to be able to deal with it. No strategist ultimates though, so they're gonna have to be a little bit careful, but they're gonna open things up with this final judgment coming out from Juicy, and right away, DXA, they don't have the front line to be able to absorb this, so they have to respect it. Freedom charge is gonna come out early from Nev, and that is the closest thing to sustainability that they currently have. Pars gets caught slipping though.
Yeah, immediately bouncing back here. DXA trying to get back in the fight. The KO feed flipping blue for the first time this run. More blue than we've seen on the second half of Museum here. And Pars on the move again on this Elsa here. A minute 15. They finally are able to get out of this swamp that they've been trapped in. It feels like Kanga had their number here, but now staring down potentially one more fight is what they'll need to grab checkpoint number 1 and get themselves a time refresh here. Not quite down to overtime yet, but there's a very real chance that Kanga can push them there, just like Kanga was on the receiving end of some overtime. And there's Nev on the cap, finding one early pick there, but Juicy evens out the odds with that Punisher shotgun, make it a double KO for the Frank Castle there. Eye of Agamotto yet again here, but that KO feed going DXA's way yet again here, just a meter or two away from the time refresh. Still not into overtime, but Kanga at least manages to put hands on the payload.
For the time being, but DXA, they got hands as well, and Tashi's got some billy clubs with those hands and trying to take down Dusk and will have it. The sun is getting very low, now looking to try and square up with Juicy, the source of so much punishment, pun very much so intended. Pars with a shotgun blast there, catches Revsy, and Isaac gonna be felled as well. This is looking like the cap will be coming through here for DXA with 10 seconds left. 2:40 now in the time bank to try and get through point B. Kanga not able to get the full hold there, but still have the time to get their wits about them once again. DXA looking to try and ride the momentum, but hang on. A late strange TP right onto the cart and flipping control here. I mean, no way DXA saw this one coming.
No, absolutely not. I didn't see it coming either here. It looks like Kanga gonna try to put that stranglehold back in here. They see the time advantage they're kind of building up here and want to capitalize on it. So they are here and ready for a fight. Don't give DXA a moment to breathe here. Overhead Gak going for the meteor and pretty low to the ground here, trying to find the dunk. Cannot make it happen here, but gets a little bit of pressure onto him here, slowing things down here. Rexy got the Eternal Bond as well, trying to regain control of the tempo here as Kanga on that portal here definitely threw things into disarray here. Apex Predator from Revsy doesn't pick up much though. Now Pars has one in the pocket as well, and they'll find 1-2 off of that one as Tashi comes in. The dynamic duo here yet again, and Pars will make it a double. Isaac and Revsy both pretty low with no strategist. It's a matter of time. Triple KO for Tashi's Daredevil, and they are back on the move yet again with still a minute 30 left to go.
But here's the thing though, Kanga do not care that they lose that fight. That wasn't a fight they were setting up to win. They were just trying to waste DXA's time. And remember, it was 2:40 in the time bank. Now it's down to a minute 20. And it's probably going to be about a minute left by the time it gets to that last hurdle there. So realistically, Kanga have to win maybe 2 fights here, and they still have the ults to do it. Meteor M and Eye of Agamotto, no strategist ultimates, or sorry, the God of Mischief for 1 strategist ultimate, and they're going to go early on with the Freedom Charge. If they can just deal with this one, they are set, but there's the Eye of Agamotto. Can they confirm an Eel off of it? They do.
Yeah, and the most important one, they could have Nev mid-freedom charge there off of that airmail, Eye of Agamotto. And speaking of airmail, Isaac's got a package to try and deliver here. Meteor M through the window is good, and will find Fix. Huge KO here, dunk after dunk in this matchup here. DXA cannot respond now. Revsy are firing on through here to 30 seconds left to go. And yeah, they may not have made a huge play on the other end of that Doctor Strange portal, but you are 100% right, CB. They still got what they wanted out of it. They wasted even more of DXA's time, and now maybe just one more fight potentially for Kanga to finish off this map.
And there's hardly any time left. 20 seconds. Tashi has let the devil out, and he is going to do just that, trying to get on top of this Phoenix, but the regen domain is going to save his life. Juicy gonna get out. To get out of jail free card, and now that ultimate is gone. We're at a full neutral. Tashi has to get back for the healing. Can't put the pressure onto the back line. Kanga are standing strong. They are going to take this fight at the last hurdle, but Pars is ready to square up again, taking down Revsy.
Trying to kneecap them here at the last second. Apex Predator from Pars is good. They'll find a couple more KOs. Kanga saying, we played under overtime. Now it's your turn. And DXA said, happy to here. They'll finish off the rest of Kanga here. One Loki clone is all that remains of the team here. They'll finish off checkpoint number 2. And now a minute 30 headed to checkpoint 3. Dead heat between the two teams.
And now there's a world where we go to extra innings if DXA can complete the full cap here. Tinny going for the same trick again. Another strange TP, but this time I think maybe trying to catch Fix out. No, going again for that same deal, trying to waste their time. And it's going to be even more devastating on this point, because remember how hard it is to get the full cap because of this 3rd point. So if you can get this time bank down to under a minute, which, have a look, it already is. It's going to be all OT from here on out, no matter how many bodies you lose.
Once again, overhead, though, they're going to try to play through that time disadvantage. Dunk down. Can't quite get the KO off of it, though, from Gact here. Kanga going to keep playing right on through. Dueling Eternal Bonds now, as they do get kind of handcuffed to the Doctor Strange here. They're going to have to plant boots on Tinny. Got an Eye of Agamotto. Will find Fix, but no follow-up there. And now Blue in the KO feed yet again here. Tashi getting taken down by Revsy, but Par's going to battle back here. And it is Elsa, the Elsa yet again, looking to claw their way through the enemy teams here. triple KO for Pars, getting the upper hand on his fellow Elsa player on the other side of the field here. 20 seconds to go, and Gacked another shot on the Magneto here. Pathway is clear, but it is going to be a long overtime fight to the end here if they're able to survive.
Yeah, only 10 seconds left. Again, it was the same story as before. KNG don't care if they win that fight. They just need to waste DXA's time, and now there's none left. DXA have to realistically win 2 fights to KNG only needing to win the 1. There will be a strange TP that could come out from DXA, so it might be a stagger fight, but nevertheless, KNG have set themselves up for success. All they got to do now is stick the landing.
Well, here we go. Potential last fight here. Nev gonna assemble the rest of DXA for another brawl here. Freedom Charge on the board. Eternal Bond from Dusk here to get KNG into the fight. Vix goes for the Eternal Bond as well off of that low-key copy. Isaac overhead, the Dunk Master so far this matchup, but can't make the mark here. Nothing off of the Meteor M. Pars has that Apex Predator. Tashi's got the ult as well here, but Pars doesn't even need it. Shreds through Tinny there, leaving Dr. Stranger like Swiss cheese as DXA onto the move here. They've got control of the cart, and they've got bodies on it here. Rapid fire push, but they won 1 here, CB. They got to win 1 more.
Yeah, and KNG needs to be careful. They gave a fair bit of respect to DXA, and now so much space gained. If DXA win this fight, surely they will get the full cap. There's going to be letting the devil out for Tashi, trying to find a backliner here. The Glartrox coming out from Revsy. It does strike pay dirt, though, getting both Nev and Gacked, and without a front line, there is not going to be any way to push forward. A Glartrox coming out from the side of DXA, but it is going to ring hollow. It is going to be KNG drawing a line in the sand, evening the series up 1-1. What a map, Diatonic. What a show.
Yeah, absolutely insane. A Museum of Contemplation has borne many duels, many head-to-heads in the preseason so far, but this one definitely takes the cake here. KNG make it a ball game, 1-1, our first map 3 of the night, and definitely showing that they are not ready to get out of the fight just yet. But again, just like how when DXA won map 1, KNG weren't far behind. DXA not too far off of a map 2 win here. So this series far from decided. Revsy, though, winning out the Elsa duel here. 44 elims and 21 finals off of it, but of course Pars 34 and 15 finals, so a lot of damage. Havoc being wreaked by both Monster Hunters on both sides of the board, but absolutely beautiful performance from both of these teams. I imagine we're in for a heater on map 3 too.
And so much of it comes off the back of those portal plays from Tinny. It's so smart to try and take those really aggressive ones towards the beginning of points B and C, and they deny so much time, deny so much luxury from DXA. I was worried that KNG towards the end of point C might have given a little bit too much respect, risked giving up the staggers, but whether it was a lack of killer instinct or being too afraid to step off the cart in C9, DXA don't chase for those elims, so KNG are able to fully regroup and hit that one killing blow, that Glartrox that comes out from Revsy that just takes the front line for a ride, and suddenly no one left to soak up the damage, only punishment coming your way, and KNG close it out. Beautiful stuff.
Yeah, I mean, you watched kind of DXA's sustain all just melt and drip through their fingers there at the very end, and once the strats were gone, it was just a matter of time and no time left for DXA. What a comeback from KNG, and they will take us all the way to map 3. I can't believe it.
Well, believe it, that's the world we live in, and it is going to be right on the other side of this break. Don't go anywhere, chat. You do not want to miss this one.
The moon haunts you!
Hello, rivals, and welcome back to the final day, the final match, and the final map of the Oceania group stage here in the preseason. Absolute heater of a Museum of Contemplation taken by KNG in the very end. What a match we got on our hands here.
Yeah, and I was saying everybody needs to get a 2-0, but I think you and we needed a 3-mapper just to feel good, just to feel like we got some real heat, and these two teams are delivering more heat than I think either of us were ready for. DXA, an underdog performance, pushing KNG to their absolute limit, and then some genius plays needing to come out from KNG in order to overcome that. We've already got our third map picked, ready to go. It's on deck. We're going to Central Park, and this map has produced a fair bit of cinema across the both parts of the PAC region.
Yeah, I mean, both of the maps we've already played out so far, incredibly close on both sides of the board here, so it is going to be a race to the finish here, and the finish line, of course, Dracula's Throne at the very end of this Central Park run. No doubt, you know, cinema for sure, but now it is time for a sequel here, as they are going to run it down on one last map. It has just been neck and neck between these two teams. I mean, both of them playing incredibly well. Plenty of star-shining moments for players on both sides of the board.
Again, I mean, we are in a world where it is possible. All right, JFT, they beat DXA 2-1. KNG, they beat JFT 2-1. What happens if DXA beats KNG 2-1? All right, who's the best team? Like, what happens? Do we go to like a tiebreaker round? What happens with the head-to-head? What happens with the... They're gonna have the same map score at that point. Like, what even happens? Who even knows? It is too close to call in this group, and I am excited, but I love that I get to call it alongside you, and we get treated to some real Scorsese cinema right now.
Yeah, could not ask for a better way to round out this last night here on the desk to call this one. Race to the finish indeed. KNG and DXA 1-1 here. And yeah, a DXA win here would definitely throw a lot of the math we've been talking about all night into absolute disarray. You know, your Preds all over the board. Mine are already in shambles. They have been since like America's day 2 or 3, and it's just been an avalanche since then. But dead heat here. The first time we have gone to map 3 all night long. So truly, this is the final map of the group stage.
Yep, and I don't even know what this pick ban phase is going to look like. I do know that we're not going to be seeing Gambit from either side, as both teams have been more than willing to put him on the show for the time being, and Elsa Protect for DXA, as is par for the course. You got to imagine KNG going to be trying to reach for the same thing. They can't give that one up one-sided. It paid off so well getting Revsy on that Elsa. You can't just let Pars have that unanswered, as both teams have been lights out when it comes to this. And again, the front half, predictable. The back half, who knows?
Yeah, Revsy and Pars both coming out of their respective corners. They heard no bell here, so it's time for round 3. Monster Hunter v Monster Hunter here. A close race on Museum of Contemplation, to be sure, but yeah, they can't give up the Elsas here either. KNG gonna ban out Wolverine against DXA. DXA taking away the Loki from KNG. Good shout on that one too. Loki been a big player throughout this entire series. Invis save coming in from KNG, so looking at their backline here, trying to at least lock down one option, as DXA got one ban left in the tank here. They're hovering the Cloak and Dagger yet again for a second. They tease us. They go for the Groot, the Magneto. They're not sure, but they'll take the Mag ban here.
Interesting. I think that's the first time we've seen a Mag ban in quite some time, but yeah. That's an interesting look, and securing a one-sided Loki on Central Park, no matter what you pair him up with, is going to pay off. I mean, if this last ban isn't an invis, then you have access to a double invisible boundary. You also have access to the Cloaky. There is the double res comp when we switch sides and go onto the defensive side. It's going to be the group ban that comes out. So DXA not going to have access to that, but I still think that they made out quite well with this pick and ban phase. I like what I'm seeing here. I'm still kind of questioning the Magneto ban, but for what you got, like, and also you still have the, you know, the Wolverine ban coming from the side of KNG. They're showing respect to Tashi, not giving that one up for free. They know the hell he wrought on Hell's Heaven, and they do not want to face that down again.
Yeah, and I could be proven wrong here, and I would love to be proven wrong, but I do feel like the group ban might be a little bit of a miss here. I'm not 100% sure, but the Loki save is going to be huge for DXA. Of course, back-to-back strategist ults are on the board, but there's a lot of nests, a lot of places to put those Loki clones down, not to mention, region domain going to be a serious problem here, and the only ones that are going to have access to it are DXA. So this is it here. Both sides of the board, one map win, and they are going to finish this thing off on Central Park. Mad dash to Dracula's lair here. DXA gonna take the attack first. This was their map pick, so they want to play it out here first. Kanga gonna go on the defense here, and of course, yet again, we have the round 3 here. Elsa v Elsa. They are both bringing it to bear, and yeah, it is lights out. Here we go. Doors gonna open up. DXA run it down first.
And I love when we get these deciding maps on Central Park. It's poetic that two teams with eyes set on ascending to the throne will have to make it to Dracula's castle in order to do so. Lay siege to said castle. DXA first on deck, and the Punisher and Revsy gets caught out instantly, and oh no, it's already gone belly up for Kanga.
It is going to be tough for them to walk it to the point here, but DXA rise to the challenge here. Kanga in a bit of a scramble, trying to figure out how they can hold this point and how they can stop Bars. Double KO already taking the lead in the Elsa matchup here. Dak finding one on the Magneto as well. Tinny down and out. 10 seconds until they know Isaac's going to make the swap over to the Strange, get that portal up and running, but DXA in the meantime going to take at least 2 ticks here. Strange portal might not come in time. No, it does, just barely makes it here. Of that first checkpoint secure. And now DXA have the upper hand here, putting the hurt on them as they go through the portal. They are sent right back, and DXA rapid fire checkpoint number 1, 5:30 on the clock.
And the portal already taken out for Kanga. Isaac stuck on that pick. He's going to have to swap back eventually if they're going to stick with it. No, they're going over to the group. Tinny now going to take up the Doctor Strange, and all of that is just time wasted. DXA going to be getting around this first corner with ease. Kanga don't really have the tools to try and go for an aggressive spawn hold here, so DXA, not only do they cap with 530, but they are only going to have to win 1, maybe 2-ish fights in order to get through point B, and that is a steal.
Yeah, such an awkward start here for Kanga, and when they cannot afford it, the margin for error growing slimmer by the minute here, and DXA got plenty of minutes to play with on this matchup here. Gonna try and round this corner. This one can get a bit tricky here too on Central Park, but DXA have risen to the occasion in every instance so far here. Tashi in a bit of trouble with the backline, got them covered there as Rexy gonna move up on that Eternal Bond, and Pars gonna take down Juicy again. DXA coming up big here in the KO feed. They've got so many tools at their disposal. Nev goes for the eye Agamotto, but a solid force physics from Sector, sending him right back, though that doesn't stop the Sorcerer Supreme there on the move, finding a KO. Vix taking one on the Invis as well here as DXA, just a wall of force here that Kanga cannot stop.
The Kanga did stall out the cart for a little bit of time here, so they bought themselves one more good fight here, but there's not going to be a Strange TP for it, so it's going to be scrappy, and I mean, DXA know exactly where they're going to be coming through. 1 of 2 chokes, and one of them they're looking to choke the life out with both the Meteor M and the Final Judgment. The dunk right on top of Dusk like a pavement pancake, and the Freedom Charge ringing out, but no one is around to hear the sounds of freedom ringing as Tashi has taken them all down, and a little bit of buckshot to remember him by. A triple, and Tinny dispatched. We are going all the way to point C with 5:10 in the time bank.
Yet again, 5 minutes up on the clock for DXA. Unstoppable so far here on their own pick of Central Park. Truly their territory here. Dracula doesn't control New York City. It's DXA at the moment here. We do have a dueling Apex Predators on both sides, and that can get a bit treacherous here because there is a pit of doom on the board here. Isaac now on the Deadpool, trying to get something going here for Kanga, but they just have not found a single answer so far on map number 3. Feels like the cage was rattled right out the gate on that first checkpoint, and they just have not been able to unrattle.
You mentioned those Apex Predators. Revsy is going to have to be the hero with it. Banhammer's also online for Isaac, but Pars wants to take the initiative, and right back into Gact with the triple, and playing with his food, not going for the quad just yet. Revsy going to go for the hero's way, joining the rest of the team, and one more for Tashi, and 4:15 in the time bank, and we are on the home stretch. Up at the top of the stairs, we're going to lay down the calling turret and practically take a victory lap. Kick your feet up. The job's almost already done.
DXA have raised mountain after mountain here that KNG are going to have to scale. Less than 5 meters to go here and 4 on the clock right now as they're going to look to close it out right here, right now. Finish them off with over 3 minutes left. KNG fighting back though, of course, not able to give up this throne room because they know what awaits them on the other side. There's no way a rapid fire push can come back for KNG here. There goes the KOs. Rexy and Gact off the rip here. We'll find another Juicy taken down by Pars and a double KO for the Elsa here. Lights going out for KNG here. No one on the point and no one to stop this rapid fire push. 3:27 left over for DXA. Maybe the most insane offensive run I've seen on Central Park.
One elim on the Elsa Bloodstone and it all spiraled out of control from there. KNG lost Revzy early on and were never able to recover. And 3:27, you want to know the scary thing, Diatonic, is even if KNG get a full cap, DXA, when we go to extra innings, they get another minute. That's going to be nearly 4.5 minutes. They're going to make out with 27 seconds more than what they started with.
They will quite literally be starting sudden death with a full timer at their disposal if KNG makes it.
And nearly 30 extra seconds. That's insane.
Yeah, I don't know when the last time I saw a timer for sudden death that high. So DXA have done the unthinkable here. They have basically put KNG in a catch-22 here. Rock and hard place. They're going to have to push this thing all the way to the end. And even if they do, can they even hope to match that time bank that DXA have built for themselves here? They've got some swaps coming in. Dusk is on the Atom here. Sector over onto the Jeff. So they are going to try to play it out here. Can't throw in the towel, of course, but DXA, I don't know how you stop them now.
Herculean does not even begin to cut it, but nevertheless, in about 3 seconds, KNG are gonna have to begin to lift it. And I am liking some of these swaps. You know, you saw the Atom being hovered there for a second. I wasn't in love with that on the offensive side. I do think playing into the symbiote shenanigans alongside Juicy on that Psylocke could be a great way to catch this backline slipping, maybe get a little bit of extra damage from afar with the Jeff, the Joyful Splash, and try and set up an angle for Revzy. You can already tell DXA are respecting it. They're trying to play further back, so the peel will come if Juicy gets an angle that you don't want. Here comes the diving strike early on from Tinny, and Tashi immediately pulling out the shotty, trying to minimize the value.
Yeah, DXA not playing it cocky here. They are going to give KNG some room to breathe there, but Sector caught out on the Jeff by Tashi. 1 KO already. Tinny in some trouble. The Symbiotic Resilience already used, and it's a double for the Punisher on DXA here. Punishing KNG early on into this offensive run, and DXA going to press the advantage a little bit more here. They do push up here. Can't get much more forward than that for now, but a solid repel here.
Like Tashi just takes the shot onto Sector on the Jeff early on. No symbiotic shenanigans coming out. And then the symbiotic resilience from Tinny didn't seem all that resilient once Tinny started hitting the shots. Once Tashi started hitting the shots. So, like, if you're KNG, like, what are you looking for now? Juicy gonna make the swap over onto the Daredevil. I almost like that more, but still, you have to try and find a win con here. And Juicy on Death's door, and Tinny is gonna be kicked through it alongside him.
Yeah, double KO here for the Sorcerer Supreme. Nev picking up a couple there, fixes invisible boundary, gonna go down, done its job here. Dusk somewhere out there floating with like 1 HP left on the move, maybe for a health pack here, but DXA, no time for them to waste. 2:20 still on the clock for KNG, so job definitely not finished. And Sector going overhead, taking some high ground, and we'll find Tashi finally get some relief from this Punisher here, and Juicy on the Daredevil here on the move, taking a little bit of the aerial route here, does get down, but can't find the opening to get something going here. So DXA, they do lose 1, but they should be able to recover from that.
Good combo there, but it's not going to be enough to take down Fix. Glartrox now coming out. Juicy dealt with again, and DXA still coming out ahead in these fights, and they are postured like a team that knows they're inside KNG's heads, and KNG still trying to shake the cobwebs loose, but only 1:40 in the time bank to try and find it, and no real good tools. Juicy coming up on letting the Devil out, but there hasn't been enough space to capitalize on that, and every single time Juicy gets in deep, Tashi just pulls out the shotgun and just puts him to bed.
Yeah, he's landed a couple times in the middle of DXA, but just hasn't been able to get anything going. Gonna let that devil out now. Try to get a move on here. Nev Agamotto does find the stuns. They take down Juicy mid-devil release here. DXA gonna fight that, but Sector does find a big comeback here. Double KO off the Jeffo. Isaac on cleanup duty there. Double KO for the Deadpool, and the fight will go on here. Tashi's got a strange portal. They should be able to make it back in time here. 60 seconds to go.
Sector more like savior, buying KNG an opportunity. They just have to close it out, stick the landing, but Pars coming through the portal with nasty intentions, taking down Revzy, and it's already getting scary again. Invisible boundary coming out from Fix. DXA looking to stand their ground. KNG with the later invisible boundary. They need to stick to the point here. Isaac trying to punish Fix, split from the pack currently. That Elim could be just what they need, but Tashi taking down Isaac. DXA willing to invest to press the advantage. Only 34 seconds, and KNG have been repelled.
Yeah, early picks that KNG just cannot afford right now. Under 30 seconds on the clock here. DXA out of ults, but they'll have a couple ready to go here, so they are ready for one final fight here. KNG got one opportunity to push. They did secure 2 ticks, though, so dangerously close here to keeping the fight going. There's the Feast of the Abyss now from Tenny, and Sector again overhead. Gotta watch above for that land shark. Isaac will find one as well. DXA let go of it here at the last second. It slips through their fingers. Nev, the only one still alive on the point, and in overtime, KNG will make the save here. They're still alive, and they got 2:30 left to play with.
That's twice that Sector has bailed them out, albeit the second time with a little bit of help from Tinny off that Feast of the Abyss, getting exactly what you need, but 2:20 in the time bank. You are trying to get through point B with less time than DXA finished. Overtime, extra innings, it's not a guarantee. A full cap, not a guarantee. And if you keep losing Juicy on the attack, you're not going to be able to get enough fights here. So now look at DXA. They're going to swarm the point, deny this early fight here from KNG. It's going to be up to 3 fights that KNG are going to have to win in order to get the cap here. And the first one being delivered straight to their doorstep next day air.
Right, it just feels like they're bleeding time over and over again by getting picked off super early here. Tinny in trouble on the Venom, will make the escape there for now, and a Banhammer for Isaac, gonna follow up on it, bouncing on the heads of DXA. 1 KO coming through, and DXA in some serious trouble here. Revzy and Tinny come up big here. Tinny double KO, make it a triple for Revzy now as well on the Elsa. Another breakthrough here for KNG. Still a minute 30 left to go. Obviously a far cry from 327, but KNG now feeling the momentum.
Nev on the Doctor Strange. I'm not sure if DXA are going for an early portal play here, but that is still something that they can go for to get that third fight coming here. First one, they're going to just walk right onto the choke here. Tenny has them scouted, looking to try and find a diving strike, but again, the shotgun going to come out from Tasha. You got to be careful. Does find the denial.
Yeah, that Apex Predator, and Tinny got the tendrils moving there to take care of at least Tashi here, as once again, brawl breaking out just ahead of checkpoint number 2. So dangerously close for KNG to keep this ball rolling, and Juicy is going to try to keep the move on here. Sector again on the Jeff. Major plays here for the Landshark. Another double KO off of it. It's Jeff. They have got to check the water here because it is shark infested. KNG make it through yet again. Checkpoint number 2 secured, and they've got 2 minutes to make it to the throne room.
They're not quite out of the woods just yet, but they are also not dead yet. They still have some life left in them, some more Marvel rivals left to play. Getting the full cap here would be, at the very least, it'd be enough. It's what you're looking for, but with some time would be extra. You're just trying to play for some hope at this point in time. Tinny with that Feast of the Abyss, trying to strike onto a backliner. Sector getting caught out by Pars on the flank. That's the last thing that you want to see right now. Pars again looking to take the fight right to KNG and force them further back, playing safe behind the cart, around cover, and all that space that they fought for, that they won that second point for, now it's been gone. Just one swift blow from Pars, and he is not done yet.
Yeah, so quickly to get back in the fight here, but Sector again on the Jeff. You gotta stop this guy getting away with so much here, almost single-handedly keeping DXA in check here. I have Agamotto from Nev there, but no captures here. Juicy will take down the Sorcerer Supreme here, and again, KNG still on the move again, not able to build up that time bank, but they have survived through thick and thin here, and Revzy, Juicy, and Isaac all picking up even more KOs here, whereas we thought DXA had this on lock at checkpoint 1. Now KNG is in the throne room, and just a few meters away from taking us to sudden death.
Yeah, but like you said, through thick and thin, I don't see a whole lot of thin. It's been nothing but thick since the jump, and now their time bank. That's the only thing I see right now that's thin. Less than 40 seconds to go to try and get the full cap here, and the final judgment from Tashi needs to be scouted out, and that's going to be the first thing that comes out. But a good shot from Isaac onto Rexy.
So early on there, strategist pick onto DXA. That is going to put them all in disarray here. Tashi's got that final judgment moving, but can't find the KOs there. DXA nowhere to be found in that KO feed. It goes blue one more time here. Nev goes down. Rexy coming out of the spawn room, but there's no way they can hold it, and everyone from DXA offline with 4 seconds left. KNG take it to round 3.
I have seen thinner tooth skin, but KNG Esports are able to clutch it up, and 4 seconds left. Take us to extra innings, but just like I said, this is where it gets really scary because you only get a minute. DXA get an extra minute on top of their existing time bank, so 4:30 nearly for DXA, and KNG have to set the bar high because DXA have more than enough time to clear it. We'll see how they want to approach this one. They were able to find success once they actually got Revzy in position to start hitting the shots, and Sector bailing them out of more than one disastrous situation. Give this guy a medal. Hell, give him 2 medals and give him a snack. Feed this shark. He has been a very good boy indeed.
Yeah, shark infested doesn't even begin to describe it here. DXA's nightmares are Jeff's smiling face staring them down as one by one they melt away here. But again, it is an uphill battle for KNG. They are going to take the attack first, and they've only got 60 seconds. You don't get time refreshes in these extra rounds, but what a miracle here. We did not expect KNG to get us to these extra rounds. It was a slow start for them on checkpoint 1, but they battle through, they grit and bear everything that DXA threw at them, and time again, KNG showed that in the clutch, they play incredibly well here. So DXA got to clutch up here on defense, got to set the pace because they've got 423. If they can hold them here, then it is game, set, and match for DXA.
And DXA know that KNG have to go fast here, so Tashi making the swap off of the Punisher onto the Bucky, hoping to try and catch out a flanker, and oh no. I mean, there is still going to be some time for Juicy to come back in, but oh no, don't stagger out. We're seeing some low health bars here, and I'm getting worried, Diatonic.
There is trouble brewing on both sides of this board here, but it's all trouble for DXA. 2 KOs come through. Tashi gonna try to even the odds here, but the strategists for DXA are all the way back at the spawn. They're gonna be walking it back with no shot here to get back. Gact is gonna get him a portal, so again, same situation. They're gonna portal in maybe at the last second here to try and hold it. Gonna be dangerously close to clearing the checkpoint, inches away from doing so, but now DXA through the portal here, ready for one more fight here. Another miracle save, another dive through the portal here. One more fight to go. DXA got to find a way to dig the heels in here. Health bars low for KNG this time, and now Gact, the maelstrom of madness comes through. Finally, a ray of sunshine for this DXA team as they're trying to battle back here. Fix gives them the umbrella, though, the invisible boundary, ready to go here, and Tinny trying to make a meal out of the remaining parts of DXA here. Beast of the Abyss goes up. No such luck here. Overheal for DXA. Apex Predator for Revzy. They're going to be out of ultimates here. Rexy, though, got that Eternal Bond moving, ready to go. DXA, plenty of safe space to fight, but KNG make the touch. 4 checkpoints for them now, still under overtime.
The spawn is right there, though. That is all they needed, but DXA, 2 big KOs, and Sector swallowing up everybody, taking them off the point, can't risk taking them away. I have Agamotto coming through from Gact, and it might be where the cart stops, but they got the full cap. KNG, that is more than was guaranteed. With only a minute in their time bank, they're now gonna have to go for a full hold. 423 for DXA, but there was a world where KNG don't even get that much.
No, I mean, realistically, with just 60 seconds, it's very possible and almost expected that they wouldn't be able to get a single checkpoint here. But DXA, again, they just slip here. They let this go through their fingers. Now they've got to score this first checkpoint. I mean, they have 423 to work with. So again, the expectation, they're probably gonna get through here. But KNG, I mean, miracle after miracle here. This team grit doesn't even begin to describe what we're seeing here on Central Park from KNG Esports here. One final push here into the group stage. It's come down to this. They've played this series out. Could not go any further than this. 4.5 minutes for DXA to try and finish this off. They just need one good fight win.
And they need to keep RevZ alive, because remember, that push from DXA on their previous attack, it all snowballed out of control with one bad pick that came through onto RevZ and then another on the re-engage, and you just never had the damage to be able to push DXA back, so they just kept pushing, and you cannot let that happen. You do not have an inch to give. You have precisely 3 ticks and 1.72 meters to your name. That is your wing, and that is your prayer. That is all you have left to live on, and now as the doors open and the time starts ticking down, each second is going to feel like an hour.
Yeah, KNG have a long way to go here in round number 4 of Central Park, but they are going to try to play this thing out from the very beginning. RevZ takes that high ground, looking for a bit of a shooting gallery down onto DXA while they are trying to run to the point here. KNG, of course, going to have to turtle up here. They got to play close to their chest here. They cannot give any quarter to DXA because 1 inch could become the mile that they need to finish them off here. Isaac's got a banhammer on the move and fixing a bit of trouble. We'll find it in Sector again in the KO feed on the Jeff, taking their time. DXA offline, aced by KNG Esports. Obviously, still a ways to go here, but you could not ask for a better start for KNG.
Just got to do that 3 or 4 more times, but that's the benefit of the Deadpool, especially when it comes to these extra endings, so you start off fully upgraded, so we can just go in with that banhammer that he builds up instantly and just drop it on the back line, split them off from the rest of the team, and have Sector there for the follow-up. But a strange TP from Nev now, looking to try and get some of this capture percentage, make KNG sweat, make them find that one mistake, that one misstep that they can't recover from, because they do not have that margin for error. And DXA, they've got all the time in the world still, 3 minutes in the time bank, an eternal bond to lay out the red carpet, potentially to victory.
Yeah, and a lot of restraint from KNG. They did hold back. They were ready for the strange portal here and ready for a brawl. DXA in trouble again. Hellfire's chunked down 1 at a time here. They will survive the defensive plays here. Tashi coming through big, taking 1 onto Tinny and 2 onto Dusk there. Gact will take down the Land Shark. Wide open here for DXA. 1 by 1. KNG falls. RevZ still somewhere out there. Pars on the move and on the hunt there for his fellow Monster Hunter. Will try to take him down. Apex Predator, the last thing that RevZ has here, and KNG hang on for dear life here, but there's not a lot of bodies left for them to hold here. Final Judgment may truly be the final judgment here in this matchup, but Sector on the move again on the itch Jeff. So many big plays here. Does have the Doctor Strange, so will get to take 1. Gonna have to spin him and get right back to the fight here, but KNG have found a way to stop DXA.
You can sense the urgency, though, in Sector's movements. New, okay, I only got 1. This is not enough to win the matchup. I gotta get back, and I gotta get heal. And Tinny, unfortunately, fell in that previous fight with the Feast of the Abyss, holding onto it, didn't get to pop it, and had to be the one to make the swap off to the Doctor Strange. So the ult advantage, not in KNG's favor at all. Only a banhammer to their name, potentially an Eye of Agamotto, but the Glartrox coming through!
Early picks from Gact and Pars here, but they're gonna battle back. KNG making it 2 for 2, even trade yet again here, hanging on by a thread. DXA so close to the capture here. RevZ gonna go down at the hands of Gact again, the Magneto, but Isaac standing tall on the point here for KNG on this Deadpool, trying to find a way to break through. We'll take down Rixie as well. Eye of Agamotto stops him dead in his tracks, and they finally take down the Deadpool here, but the rest of KNG are here and ready to try and brawl it out here. DXA have not found a way to finish him off fast enough, but this might be it here. Tashi and Fix come up big here for 1 or 2 more KOs. Another one for Pars on the Elsa. They break through. Finally, 4th checkpoint for DXA. 1 meter to go here, and there it is. DXA will take it in a 3-map barn burner here on Central Park.
It doesn't get closer than that, and as if it wasn't close enough, do you know what situation we've just found ourselves in, Diatonic? We have got 3 teams that are that have all one-upped each other in 2-to-1 affairs. It's a total triad between KNG, DXA, and JFT. Only Gen G in this group has been able to escape that vortex, and total parity amongst these other 3 teams. So evenly matched, so tenacious, so hungry, and on this day, DXA came to feast off the back of that attack phase. There was realistically nothing they can do, but full credit to KNG. Oh, they tried their hearts out on this one. 50 17 final blows for Sector on the Jeff. Just kept bailing Kanga out of disastrous situations, but it just wasn't enough because 17 and 16 for Tashi and Pars, the dynamic duelist duo for DXA, carrying them home, carrying them to victory, dishing out the punishment, and potentially, I mean, I don't want to say buying them an opportunity at playoffs because who even knows what happens now that we have this three-way tie, but what an insane way to close out the OCE region. It doesn't get any better than this.
Every single region of preseason has a story like this, some kind of insane comeback, a team you never would have expected to take a win that they should not have won, any kind of drama you can expect it, and here in Oceania, we are not immune from it either, and Kanga, they tried everything they possibly could. Sector, a major player here, of course, Isaac at the end there on the Deadpool, trying to stand and hold that final point, but it just was not enough. DXA came to this matchup looking for their first series win in Ignite, and I could think of no better way for them to find that first W.
And I wish I could tell you what happens now, but I gotta be honest, I don't know. I didn't think we'd be in this situation. I don't know if anyone did. I'm sure the admins planned for this, but we're gonna have to wait until we get a ruling to find out who makes it to playoffs. Do we play another match? Do we just, you know, have a 1v1v1, you know, have a free-for-all? Like, you know, hey, let's hit the clobbering club. Let's have, like, everybody try and see who we get in the... Can we still do that? Is that how we can break some ties? Do we have, like, a three-way coin we can flip? It's, like... What do you do? Like, I've never been in a situation like this before.
No, I've never heard of such an absolute mess of a tangled web of a tie here. I mean, my first thought is Revzy versus Pars, round 4, Elsa, Clobbering Club, let's go. But I mean, really, yeah, big question of how this is going to be resolved because, yeah, Group B now an absolute mess here, thanks to DXA taking this in 3 maps. I mean, again, flowers to them for sure here, hunting for that first win, so hungry for it here, so hungry that they'd play it all the way out, 4 minutes on the clock, and props to Kanga, they did shave a lot of that time off. It was getting close for DXA, so all 3 of these maps just absolute neck and neck to the very end every single time. You cannot overlook Kanga's performance in this matchup, but it is DXA's day at the end, and that day for them is so bright.
I gotta say, like, towards the end of Central Park there, I don't even know who I was rooting for at that point because I'm a sucker for a good underdog story, and I think you and I both felt like coming into this matchup that DXA were the underdogs. Kanga had everything to play for. This was their match to lose, and towards the end I was like, oh no, Kanga are gonna lose it. I actually don't want to, I don't know if I want to see DXA choke or if I want to see Kanga lose it. We get the underdog story. Like, I don't know. I want to, like, it's the drama. It's what I live for. It's a storyline, and all we are being treated today. I'm so excited. We do have an interview about to come online though, and maybe we can get Tashi to make some sense of it. We'll try and get him in here, but regardless of the situation going forward, you gotta feel good after a map win like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, definitely an upset here because, yeah, I would argue that DXA, the underdogs, coming into this one as well. And, you know, again, those heroes for Kanga, you know, Sector, a generational performance on Jeff there, just keeping that team in the fight from start to finish. Just not enough at the end of the day. But, you know, hearts may be broken, but you can't really diss Kanga for what they tried here. I mean, they fought with everything they had, and now, yeah, we have quite a mess to untangle here.
Well, let's get somebody in here to help us untangle it. Just like I said, we have got Tashi here for the interview. Tashi, hello and congratulations on the victory. How are you feeling?
So fucking good. It was amazing. Such a great game. Where we, like, the whole chat was just screaming. Like, that was an amazing game. Kanga played amazing. We all played amazing. It was another 2-1 game. Yep.
Yeah, so about that, I want to ask, you guys beat Kanga 2-1. Kanga beat JFT 2-1. JFT beat you guys 2-1. Who's the best team?
I think we're all amazing teams. We've all known each other for so long. Like, it's been 1.5 years. We've all met each other. We all love each other, and we all do this for the love of the game. And we all just wanted to make a great competition for OCE and show what OCE can do. And I think this is an amazing way to show what OCE can do is like 3 teams tying with each other and then just Genji steamrolling all of us.
You had the prime opportunity to say us, it's us, like easy. Like that was I gave you the layup, but I appreciate the more honorable, like we're all amazing. That's very gracious of you.
Yeah, I respect the answer for sure. And, you know, this match was full of clutch opportunities for you guys and for KNG too. I mean, absolutely playing under a ton of pressure. You know, I gotta ask, what the heck do the comms sound like when the game's getting as close as it did there at the very end of Central Park?
I think it was a lot of Cammies, and just screaming over each other. Like, I think Rexy maybe said, Cammy, I'm the C and D, like maybe 4 or 5 times. It was insane. But it was a lot of fun, and I'm so grateful for all my teammates. Cars, Nev, Gact, Rexy, and Fix. I love every one of them. We've made such an amazing team. We came 4th in the in-zone OCE tournament in Australia, and then now we're in MRI, and we're just doing amazing. We're just gonna keep pushing.
Yeah, you're putting on a show. I wanna ask about Central Park specifically, because that was a real roller coaster from top to bottom, setting a 3.5-minute time bank for the full capture. At any point after that, though, were you scared of KNG making the comeback?
I'm always scared of KNG, bro. KNG's an amazing team full of amazing players who I all know. I was always nervous and scared going into this game, and I was scared for every one of these games, but I need to make sure I'm locked in and make sure every game I don't let the nerves take over. So no matter what, even if I'm scared, the nerves can't take over, and we just got to play the game and win the game, you know?
Yeah, 100%. And, you know, I've seen out of the corner of my eye the chat, rapid fire moving there. Such a rally for both teams, really rooting for both sides. So you guys have a lot of fans out there in the rival space. You know, anything you want them to know, some kind of message you want to pass along to them? Because I'm sure they would love to hear something.
I love all the fans. I love all of the DXA supporters, not so much the KNG, but I still love everyone. I love OCE coming together. OCE, like, is an amazing community, and I love everyone in it. And I'm just so grateful that we actually are able to show it and, like, show, like, everything and show everyone and show all these amazing players. Like, we've just had Genji and Chopper Mag blasting through MRIs and MRCs, and they've just been the only ones showing. So we want to show as, like, a part of, like, DXA, KNG, GFT, Chiefs, all the other guys, that, like, we have something else. Like, we've got something to contribute to this community and to the pro scene. So I'm just happy we're able to show it off.
There are far more stories in this region to tell, but one story that I think is on the forefront of everyone's mind is going to be this 3-way tie. And I got to ask you, what do you think is the most OCE appropriate way to settle a 3-way tie? I mean, I'm not sure how the admins are going to do it, but if it were up to you, how would you break the tie?
Who can drink the fastest beer? I think that's probably the way we do it. And then after that, then we go to a tiebreaker map, especially on domination, hopefully.
Okay, so an intoxicated tiebreaker map is the key.
Yeah, we're all drunk playing domination. There you go. I think that's how it works.
That's one way to do it. I would look forward to seeing that. I don't know if the admins are going to agree, but we'll see what ends up happening. If that's how it ends up being, I think that's going to be absolute cinema. I am sat. I can't wait to see it. But thank you so much for joining us, Tashi. The floor is yours. Do you have anything else you want to say before we send you off?
I love everyone. I love my team. I love my coach. I love Matzy. I love 2-Tap Tony.
Matzy, Tony, yeah.
Shouts out.
I love you guys. Bye.